Hey guys, Nathan here. We are going to be laying our DITRA decoupling membrane down in our bathroom today, and we wanted to take you along and show you how we do that. So as you can see, we kind of already got everything cut out, laid out for us. Obviously we'll cut out our holes for our shower drain and our toilet and our sink stuff here once we get it all laid down, but those are all in place. But basically what we did is we took the SCHLUTER-DITRA, laid it out, measured it out, cut it, butted everything together. We went ahead and worked around our areas here for our wall where our shower plumbing is going to be coming up at. We had to build a little bit of a wall because, as you remember, we have the joist is underneath the wall that's there already. But we're going to show you what we're going to be doing here with this whole process. So basically just roll it out. It doesn't have a rollback memory. The ends have a little bit of a memory, but after they set for a little while, they'll just go ahead and lay flat. Stuff you're going to need is a 1/2-inch drill, mixing paddle, water, your mixing bucket. You're going to need some modified mortar or a thin set, so that way you can go ahead and spread that out. You're going to need a sponge. We got a measuring cup here, float, and a V-notch trowel. With the SCHLUTER-DITRA, they recommend a 3/16 1/4-inch V-notch trowel. Your mortar is going to be mixed pretty thin, almost soupy like. We're going to spread that out. But we're going to take you along, show you how we do this, and hopefully guys this helps you out. If it does, give us a thumbs up. It'd be great, and we'd appreciate that. And if you could, just go ahead and subscribe as well. Thanks, guys. All right, so we got our 6 quarts of water in here. The modified thin set instructions tell us that we need about 5 to 6 quarts of water per 50-pound bag, and that 50-pound bag should get us pretty close to covering this entire area with a little bit of extra. So we got our water in there, so we're going to go ahead, add our thin set. That pretty much takes up that entire 5-gallon bucket. Hopefully we'll be able to mix this without making too much of a mess. And we got our paddle here. We're just going to go ahead and start off nice and slow, so we can get this kind of mixed up a little bit, get rid of some of the soupiness. So that's nice and thin. That's what we want to see. We want it kind of dripping off the paddle there. That's about perfect for what we need. Made a little bit of a mess there, but that's okay. It's just thin set. Washes off easily enough. Recording. Alright guys, well we had a little bit of an explosion there with our quick set, or our thin set, sorry. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do this in sections. So we'll go ahead and roll back our first section here. And because we got the plywood here, what we want to get this cleaned up nice and good, so that way the thin set bonds to the plywood, and then the DITRA bonds to that thin set. So we're going to use a damp sponge. What this is going to do is a couple things. It's going to go ahead and clean off that surface for us, get all that dust out of there, so that way it bonds nice. But what it's also going to do is help keep that plywood from soaking up all the moisture out of the thin set before we even get started. We don't want that modified thin set getting dried out right away, or it's not going to have a good bond. So we're just going to go ahead and wet this down real good. And then we're going to be all set to go ahead and put on our thin set here. We got a nice droopy consistency here. This is what we want, kind of almost, not quite soup, but enough that it's going to go ahead and hold a lift. So we're going to go ahead and spread this out first, get it spread around our area. Now when we cut our thin set DITRA, we left about a 1/4 inch gap all the way around the room. And that's for expansion, contraction, moisture, all that other stuff. That's what they recommended, so that's what we did. Just gonna go ahead and get this spread out first, and then we'll do our notches. I know everybody's gonna say, hey, you don't got all your drywall in yet. Well, why are you doing this already? Well, the reason is we're gonna go ahead and put our last row of drywall on, the bottom little edge, after the fact. The reason we're doing that is because that's going to allow us to have all of our trim board, all of our exterior visible components are going to be outside of that, or covering the top of our tile essentially. It's going to help us from having to worry about any sort of trim edging or anything like that at the wall for the tile. We're going to be able to just go ahead and cover those gaps up with the trim board. So there's no need to grout right at the wall or any of that. We'll be able to just kind of have that there. So alright, we got this all set, kind of all spread out here. Basically what we're going to do now, here, now we want all of our grooves going the same direction. So since we're working this way, we're going to just go ahead and run all of our grooves that direction. Spot right there, fill that in. Let's go ahead and make sure we get these all grooved down real good. We're going to go right along the edge of this one. Got to make sure we're getting good coverage on the piece that we're rolling down. Take that extra and just throw that over here in our bucket. Work right on over our septic line there. Make sure we're not getting it down in there. And we've got our DITRA is marked too, so we know that we're in the right spot there with our sewer line. You can see laying that down nice and thin. We're able to hold our grooves, our notches. That way we're going to get good bonding with the DITRA. And we're going to check that too here too. We'll show you how to do that. I'm going to take some of this, whoops, a little bit extra off there. Alright. Get that float. And go ahead and roll this back in place. Lined up where we need to be. Got our gap all the way around, that we're right up and tight against the piece that we haven't moved yet. Alright, we're good there. So now we're just going to take our rubber float, find our mark. There's our sewer line. That's about where we finished. We're just going to go ahead and push that down nice and flat with our float. Just work that back and forth, getting that bond going. Once we've got that kind of bonded down, let's check our coverage area. So what we're going to do is just going to peel back a corner, check to see what kind of coverage we got. What we want to see is we want to see it kind of covered all like that. We got some here along the edge. That's because of our piece here. We're going to pull this back, skim some of this here on the edge so we get some better coverage there. But other than that, it looks good. We just kind of continue that process. We got to wet the wood down, make sure we're not taking all the moisture out. Get this all wet down here. Alright, that's the area we're going to work in right now. Flat side of the trowel. Get that split. So pretty much that's what we're going to do all the way around the room. So we're going to go ahead and pause the camera right now so Aiden doesn't got to keep holding that, but we're going to go ahead and get this finished up. Once it's all done, we're going to come back, show you what we got done, show you what we done, and talk a little bit more about this system. Thanks, guys. Alright guys, so you can see we got our ditras all installed now. We got our 2 drains cut out for our shower and our septic for our toilet. Of course the sink's going over in here. And we'll be doing that from the underside before we do the tiling. So we'll get all that run. But pretty simple process. It can get quite messy. It was for us. You know, we don't do this every day, so it's not like we're pros. But it's pretty simple install. You know, mix your mud, wet down the plywood, put the mud on, trowel it, make sure it holds the ridges. Float out your Ditra. Once our next step here is going to be to tape the seams. Get the rest of our drywall in around the edges so we can go ahead and waterproof membrane the corners and all of that. So we'll post quick videos on that. We're not going to do full detail ones on those. We'll post quick ones. We got our shower pan's going to go in here. That'll be ready once we get the corners all situated. And we'll keep you posted on our progress, guys. Again, if you like the video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. And if it was informational for you and you want to see our progress even, just go ahead, subscribe, and we'll keep you posted. Thanks for watching, guys.